And the thing that I've noticed is that I am called all the time to assist others, but it's very difficult for us as human beings to let the other person have their journey, to allow them to make mistakes, especially when we've been through it before ourselves and we can see what they're doing and know that it most likely is not going to end well. That makes it even trickier. So, yesterday I had something happen with my daughter where she's been going through a really rough time, and the details don't really matter because it's not just her. I have other people in my life, family members and friends, who are going through difficult times for various reasons. But this time it was my daughter, and I could feel myself feeling really anxious. And because I hadn't heard from her and I hadn't gotten an update, and I was getting very involved in trying to support her in a loving way, but not getting so entangled with her that I felt like it was happening to me. Because I know better, except in this moment, I wasn't practicing it very well. And I was feeling myself getting more anxious. And then I realized what I was doing. I realized that I was like in her energy field and imagining all sorts of things about the decisions she was making and how, oh, if she'd just do this the way that I wanted her to do it, she can avoid all these mistakes. I've made them myself before. And, if she just listened to me. So it was an interesting moment when I realized that I actually was making myself feel probably as anxious as she was. I was like tuned into her, enmeshed in her energy field, and really needed to pull back and come into myself. It was affecting my mood. It was affecting my ability to concentrate on what I was doing for work, and it started to balloon into worrying about her and then worrying about other people and then thinking about myself, and I could feel it was kind of like pressing down on me. So what do you do when you get into one of these situations where you are kind of crossing this line between having compassion and understanding that there are things that you can do and say that might help? The first thing is the person has to actually ask, and the person has to actually want your help in order for you to assist them, right? I don't know about you, but when I've had people kind of come at me with their experiences and their ideas of what I should be doing, sometimes it's okay if I'm in a calm and centered place, and I can properly assess whether their information is a fit for me, then it's fine, and I'm open to suggestions. But other times I'm in such a swirl in my own head that other people's suggestions actually, they're not that helpful. They're not that helpful in that moment because I can't really cut through the noise of my own mind in those moments to be able to take in what they're saying. So I think that's something really important for us to remember, that just because we think we know what the other person needs, they're on their own journey, and sometimes they have to experience, actually always, they have to experience it themselves, and they have to make decisions themselves. So with my daughter, as she's going through this tough time, I ask her if she's open to hearing my ideas. If she I ask her questions instead of telling her what to do, which always works better. And sometimes she completely like shuts me out and stops texting me because I've kind of crossed that line again. I'm like, oh no, I'm getting into worrying about her for her instead of just trusting that she is surrounded. So I wanted to do something actually to this is a technique that I use and that I do when I know that I'm starting to cross this boundary, this line where I'm not going to be any good to the other person, and it's going to actually affect me negatively if I keep using my empathy to lead the way in the relationship. And so, what I do, and if you want to, as you're watching this, if you want to think of someone right now who they're struggling, you maybe they're going through something that you went through, or you kind of have a picture of it that they're probably not seeing. And although this is true, there's a way to actually be supportive while they're going through their journey without getting all meshed up with enmeshed with them. So what I do is, and I'm going to do it right now, if you can imagine this person and you can see their struggle, whatever it is, and just imagine them sitting in front of you, not particularly that they're aware of you sitting in front, but that you're seeing them. And imagine that they're sitting in their despair, in their worry, in their fear, whatever's going on. And then look around them. Don't look at the environment that you imagine them sitting in, like they're in their kitchen or they're, at work, all worried about how they're going to have this hard conversation with their boss. Not looking to see that, but see beyond that and see that just like you, they are surrounded by their own, what I like to call, cosmic support team. So whatever your belief system is, whether you believe in angels, ascended beings, God, that God is there watching, or just energy, or just the energy of the universe. And just see them surrounded by this energy, by these helpers, these energetic helpers that are watching over them, watching and understanding like we can't, because we're not living that person's life, right? So we don't know why they need to go through the journey they're going through. But their higher levels of consciousness, their cosmic support team, knows fully well that this is part of their path. And just feel as you tune into their cosmic support team, feel that love that's surrounding them, feel that guidance that's surrounding them, feel that wisdom that's surrounding them. Whether they're listening to it or not, it's there. And they will at times be able to feel it, and at other times they're probably not so aware of it. But you knowing it's there really lets you off the hook. And it really puts you in a position to actually be supportive. And so what does support look like? For me, all it is with my daughter is, I love you. I love you. I'm so sorry you're going through this rough time. I wish I could fix it for you. And sometimes I am tempted to fix it for you. But I know that it's your path. And I trust that you are being divinely guided and that you're fully supported and that you will come through this. And if there's anything that you need, I'm here. I'm here for you. I can't do it for you, but I can love you. And I can just let you know that my love is there. And that's it. That's it. That is the thing. That's the thing that we all crave when we're in a situation where we're feeling anxiety or depression, or we just want that feeling like it's going to be okay. I have faith in you. I trust you. And somehow they might not always be able to take that in depending on where they're at, but it is making a difference. It is making a difference, and it makes a difference for you, because then you understand that you actually can do something, even though it might not be what your mind and your ego tells you to do. because when you really just focus that energy back to yourself and be that example of someone who very calmly understands that we get through things, we figure it out. Eventually, things turn out the way that they're supposed to turn out, even if it doesn't look like what we think it's going to look like. So I hope you found that helpful and that you use that whenever you are confronted with that desire to get enmeshed with someone and to get in there and try and fix it. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. I've tried it. It doesn't work. Your suggestions might be a little helpful, but if the person isn't receptive, it's not going to go anywhere. So with all of that, I hope you have an amazing evening or whatever you're doing next, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.